And Jacques Villeneuve is inside Frenson's time. Now this is the fast track down to turn 5, 185 miles an hour. Back off into second gear, 55 miles an hour on the apex. Accelerate round the left-hander. It keeps on going. 145 miles an hour, 165 miles an hour. And he moves up into provisional pole position.
Well, that's more like it. That's the kind of lap times we were expecting to see. That's given them all a wake-up call. There's so much time under braking here for this chicane.
Oh, look at that. 0.3 of a second inside. This is terrific. Michael Schumacher is going to move up into provisional pole position if he just keeps up this speed as he comes into the last corner now. In tight on the apex. Get it steady, boot it hard, over the grid, and over the line goes Michael Schumacher and moves up into second place with a time exactly the same as Jacques Villeneuve's to the nearest 1,000th of a second. They've both done 1:21.072, but Villeneuve keeps the provisional pole because he got there first. And Heinz-Harald Frentzen is approaching the end of the first sector now. And this is going to give us a very good indication. And he's inside Villeneuve's time. This is certainly a pole position time coming up for Heinz-Harald Frentzen. And it couldn't have happened at a better time because team orders will count tomorrow. And Heinz-Harald Frentzen, this is amazing. I cannot believe this. Heinz-Harald Frentzen has done exactly the same time as Jacques Villeneuve and Michael Schumacher and stays therefore in third place. And believe it or not, Marcus Winkelhock as Jenson Button spins out of the race. Jenson Button in the Honda, who was in 5th place, is out of the race, climbing out of the car. He has spun off, and the spiker goes straight into the tyre wall there. Adrian Sutil. This reminds me of the race at I'm looking at 3 cars now. One of them's a McLaren, and it's off, and it's Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is off at the same corner as Jenson Button. I'm looking at this race is turning into the one just like Silverstone, and then flying off. There's another one. Gone straight into the side of Jenson Button's car. And another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars off at the corner. Villeneuve is out of the race. Damon Hill is the world champion of 1996. Wheel off Villeneuve, we'll see what happened, but whatever it was has denied him the world championship. Frank Williams looking his normal impassive self, but Damon Hill is the world champion of 1996. He doesn't even have to finish the race. If he failed to finish the race, he would still be 9 world championship points ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. Now, there are very few cars left on the circuit. There's 14 running now out of the 26 who started. And if Prost comes up to any of them, this is the opportunity that Senna's looking for. And he's going through. Out! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. They meet. This is what we were...
On Senna's part.
Here's a replay. Now let's look. Senna comes up to try and go through on the inside. Prost moves across, takes them both out.
Nigel, first of all, will you carefully and slowly take your hat off? You've got an enormous bump on your head. Can you let them see it?
I don't know whether...
Right up there. Oh, I'm sorry. What has happened?
Well, the race was okay. We got in the courtesy car to go to the podium, and the guy drove off when I was standing up to give my helmet to someone, and there's a low girder, and the girder hit me across the head at about, I don't know, 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Unbelievable. But in this amazing race, 3 starts, and you had a terrible second start. What happened?
Yeah, Formula 1 cars are just not designed to start more than once, really. And I just had clutch slip on the second start from first to second gear. Was very lucky just to keep on going.
You've closed the gap by 3 points, but you're still 15 behind with 6 races to go. Can you do it?
Well, I'm figuring on trying to win the next 6 races. So, and I think the nice thing is that Nelson's done a fantastic job this year, in as much as I think this is his 6th or 7th second place. but he can only score in 11 races, and soon he's got to start dropping points. And I can score in all 6 races to come.
Words for Keke Rosberg. He may have been prepared to move over. And look at that! And colossally, that's Mansell. That is Nigel Mansell, and the car absolutely shattered. He's fighting for control, and you can see what's happened. Mansell is out of the race. Now, this could change and will change the World Championship. And Senna sprints away, but Alain Prost takes the lead. It's happened. Alain Prost has taken the advantage. Senna is trying to go through on the inside, and it's happened immediately. This is amazing. Senna goes off at the first corner, but what has happened to Prost? He has gone off too. Well, that is amazing, but I fear absolutely predictable. Michael Schumacher going to make a good start and cut across the front of Mika Häkkinen. He's famous for that. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go, go, go. And Schumacher gets away well. Trulli is up alongside and sprinting into the first corner. It's Schumacher leading and Jarno Trulli is still 4th. Then off goes the... This is something that many people didn't think could possibly happen today. They thought Damon would drive a cautious race. But he fought from second on the grid, he passed Jacques Villeneuve, he took the lead, he stayed there, and Damon Hill exits the chicane and wins the Japanese Grand Prix. And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat. Michael Schumacher passes Damon Hill, but too late. Damon Hill wins in Japan. I really am, for once, almost at a loss for words. I am so happy, as the majority of Britain will be. I must confess I have a very soft spot for Damon, and it has been magnified as a result of his achievements here. Above all else, after 52 years of talking about Grand Prix racing, was to go out on a high note and be euphoric about the fact that we'd just seen a great race. We've seen a great race in a great country, and hopefully it will have done something to lift the spirits of America. It certainly lifted mine. It certainly lifted the spirits of Formula One. And Martin, as ever, it was a joy to be working with you.
Thank you, Murray.
So that's it then, folks. That's the last from me. All I can say is that it always has been a pleasure, and I hope you will enjoy Grand Prix racing from now on. Goodbye.
How has he held that? How has Swain held that going into the pits?
Oh, big crash there.
Is he doing an Alex Albon? Squeezed off, but he's got it. What a move from SF.
Wow. No DRS. Oh, the DRS for the Williams. Oh, he goes to the inside.
Oh, what has Bowley done?
Whoa. Oh, no.
Oh my God, and Biggers has been hit by his teammate. It looks like he's going to come home in P1 for the first time since Russia.
Surely not, he has done it. The Ferrari's gone round the outside of turn 13 and he's taken the lead on the final lap. Down the inside through turn 13, he moves up into second.
Here, his front wing flies from somewhere. I think that was Tree. I think that was Leeds. I got really excited then.
Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the tracks and they must be mine. Look at Mbappe, 3 wide going into school.
Mbappe got it. Oh, what a move! What a
Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
Himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL. But now he's a 3-time F1XL champion. He's brilliant.
Careful what you believe, so open up your fists, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you'll need.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the F1XL. Not the extra show, sorry. That's a Wednesday night. This is a Sunday night, and I'm gonna go straight out there, and I do apologise if I'm in a not a usual a bit more somber mood. Obviously, the news yesterday of Murray Walker's passing, even though he did have a great innings, 97 years old, is an absolutely fantastic age. It still hit quite hard. Someone that is. You idolise as growing up, just not to ever meet or anything like that. It's still a sore spot, and the guy was, well, he was the voice of F1. He's poured his heart into that, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a tribute at the beginning. Instead of having the music, we did have some of Murray's best bits, and I don't know. I do have Ollie here with me, and I will let him talk in a minute, but. Ollie, I think it's quite fitting that one of his most iconic moments was about having he's going to have to stop because I can't even say the quote now. It happened at Japan, 1996, because when Damon Hill won the championship, and we're at Japan tonight at Suzuka. It's kind of fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the quote was, I'm going to have to stop because I've got a lump in my throat. That's and it was, like you said, an iconic moment where Hill and Murray Walker had a great relationship, the driver commentator. And like you said, an iconic name. I didn't personally grow up watching him. I was a bit after. But an icon of not only F1, of bikes and also touring cars and rallycross. He did commentate over a range of different motorsports, and it's such an iconic voice, and you play any motorsport fan will recognise it, regardless of what age or what year they started watching Formula One. So yeah, a person we will sorely miss, and rest in peace, I think, Gareth.
Yes, it's a somber. It's really I don't know. I know I spoke to you briefly before it, just being a bit bummed out with it. I'll do my best to kick myself into gear and get myself. I tell you what, it's not a great idea to start watching This Is Your Life, Murray Walker, just before doing streams. Because that's one of the most heart-wrenching things I've ever watched. I just sat here going, I don't want to do commentary tonight, but I'm here. It's all that. There is going to be rain towards the end of the session, if Sloppy is to be believed. We've got a full 20-man grid. No Gunhead this week. He is replaced by Assassin Bear 1. So Gunhead, after last week's melee into the fake turn 1, wants a week out, and I don't blame him, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a manic start last week at Russia, wasn't it? And of course, that's where Sloppy got his first win in F1XL Tier 1. And yeah, I don't blame Gunhead after that. Just a week off, I can imagine, and then come back stronger next week. well, say next week. Next week's Monaco, so I don't know whether it may have been better to actually jump in this week and have a break next week. But yeah, I think maybe some people just need a little bit of break and get back into a focused area, Gareth. And Gunhead, I'm sure, needs that, and he'll hopefully we see him back next week at a tricky Monaco.
Yes, I'm hoping he will be back and stronger, because I know it's not that he's not giving enough. He just gets caught into silly little incidents, and I'm sure there's more to come from the Haas driver. And well, let's talk about what's happening this week. I am currently on board with Lightshock. He looks like he's the first guy to set a lap time. I know he's put in a lot of practice this week to try and reclaim some of the poor form he's had, I think is the best way to describe it, as he comes through the final chicane there and through turn 18 across the line, obviously to get provisional pole. But what's your thoughts on Lightshock so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Gather, I think he's not had the best starts. At the start, I think when we spoke, I predicted for him to take the title, and he's not doing badly. I mean, he's fifth in the championship at the moment, but the performances comparing to last year have been lackluster. And I've spoken to him and seen his tweets, and he's mentioned he's not been on the ball. And tonight might be that night. You mentioned he's done lots of practice, and hopefully we see the best of Lightshock, because I don't think we've really seen it. I mean, yeah, he got a podium in Abu Dhabi, but that was a funny old race. There was rain in Abu Dhabi, so I think that race is out the window and it was a bit random. But hopefully, maybe tonight's just kick up the bum that he needed, and we see a good performance from him here at Suzuka, which is a lot of the drivers' favourite tracks as well. So fingers crossed we see a good race.
I've just seen Jolly there through, is it the Degna curve? Just on the... It's Degna. Actually, no, it's turn 9, sorry. I got it wrong. He just span it through there a little bit. So early signs, maybe a little bit of pressure there. There's a little bit of rain dropping now, to be perfectly honest. So this is an interesting development. Jolly beat Lightshock's time by a very, very minute time, to be honest. And as we look through it, Simple Chris there, P4, Binary P5 there on medium compound tyres. So Binary fastest of the mediums at the moment. But with this rain dropping down, this just changes things up a little bit, because there's Master Swain in second. And I know we said in the past that's Swain's had a not a problem. Ooh, as there goes Jolly into the back of a Haas there, so that's not great for him. Let's have a quick jump on at Xbox Nuthead before I go back to what I was saying about Master Swain and his qualifying. Obviously, I know it's picked up recently, but I mean, starting from second with Sanchez, a penalty king at the moment. Do you think that's a good position for the Renault driver?
I mean, Swain, he mentioned in the post-race chat we have, he enjoys Japan, and we've seen the fruits of that already. He's popped it in second, only a tenth behind, but now with the rain coming down, Gareth, could Family Guy, Phoenix, and probably not even they'll get out, but will they be able to go fast? Because this rain is now coming down, we'll have to... I don't think they're going to be able to get a full lap in. I say that, but Nuthead's just posted a fastest sector 1, so maybe I should be ignored while he's in 10th place. But back to Swain, he's definitely in a prime position, leading the championship at the moment. It's a good track for him. I mean, Sanchez, like you mentioned, great qualifier, not so good racer. If you can get past him, he's got every chance at getting a good result today if it stays like this in qualifying.
Yeah, so it looks like the rain's cleared up a bit. I don't know if I'm just imagining that rain. Is that I'm getting confused all of a sudden. So I'm not sure.
It's dripping. It's like you've got a sponge and you put it above a colander. It's coming out here and there. It's not. That was a rubbish analogy, but it's not coming down very heavily.
It keeps on telling me Sanchez has got the fastest lap of the race as well, just constantly at the race, the qualifying. So I'm not sure what is going on at the bottom of the screen at the moment. And well, I did have something planned for the race this week with some telemetry. However, not all the drivers have have put it on. So I've just tried putting it on for one of the drivers here. I'm not going to go out of my way, but I did ask the team owners to specifically ask their drivers to put telemetry on, which is an option through this. And it was just going to be quite a nice little... I've got a few little widgets for the stream. Obviously, yourself and I can't see them, but it'd be great for the viewers to see it. But unfortunately, team owners don't look like they've done their job.
Yeah, that's team owners for you. They concentrate on the drivers and not us in the commentary box, unfortunately, Gareth. But hopefully next week at Monaco we get those, which would be quite good actually to have those telemetries with the amount of gear changes they'd have to do at Monaco.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, definitely interesting to see. And unfortunately, I might be able to see that, but you'd have a little bit more difficulty. Hopefully, there will be less internet problems for you that time of year, though. Let's have a look at Prophet Meady, and he's only 14th, and look how close this grid is from first to 27th to 16th. Even you can class Pickled Avenger in that as well. It's a second between them at the moment, and that's an incredible 17 drivers within a second.
I mean, like we've always said, Gareth, this league is incredibly close from top to bottom. If you could look back at France, I think, what was it, second down to 12th, something silly, were separated by no more than half a second in the third race of the season. These guys are really quick in comparatively in this league, and that is showing again here in qualifying as the rain seems to be coming down a little bit harder now. But as Lightshock ignore me because Lightshock's just gone pole in the rain, so obviously his practice is come to fruition here. But again, I will keep banging on the fact that they're so close together. It is great for us in the commentary box and great for the viewers because it provides fantastic racing.
I just saw Family Guy nearly go into the back of Prophet Meady then as well. There was a little bit of squirm, and Family Guy yet to set a lap time, so that's going to be a little bit frustrating on his side. But going back to what you're saying, the drivers definitely know more than we do, unfortunately, on that stage. But let's just quickly go back to last week. Obviously, some developments have changed, and obviously that hectic end, the last 6 or 7 corners, the stewards have decided to hand Swain second place over Jolly because of that incident, obviously making his own track a little bit at the end as well. A little bit harsh, but I guess that's what the stewards are there for. They're here to make the strong decisions.
Yeah, I'm glad that we don't have to do them, Gareth, because I don't think I'll be able to be as professional as they are. But yeah, it was a really difficult situation between the two drivers right at the end. One pushed one off at one point, the other pushed the other at another point. It's a difficult one to come out with, but maybe Swain getting it is the right decision there. And again, that extends his lead a little bit further as well. Well, it's now 18 points between him and Sloppy in second, and whether he can increase that lead tonight, he might struggle. I mean, Sloppy's directly behind him, and Lightshock and Sanchez both still ahead of him in qualifying with 6 minutes 30 left. It's going to be a close one to get pulled today.
Definitely is. Swain is on a lap time, but we're not. This rain just doesn't seem. Swain darts into the pit, so he wasn't happy with that. Maybe the rain is just too much, and there's Sora in 10th place retiring as well. I'm not sure if that's a crash or if he just knows it's not going to go any better for him, the weather that is. Let's have a look at board with Stracker as he goes through for his lap time. Xbox Nuthead finding himself in P5. That's a nice little time there for the Mercedes driver. And where is Binary? Binary's staying in the pit, so at the moment it looks like Binary will be starting on a set of mediums, is the only one that will do as well in the top 10. Sora will as well, unless someone knocks him out. Pingers then retires. I don't think that's in the pit lane as well. Lightshock retiring. So this, I think, is crucial. Everyone realising the qualifying could very well be over and done with as we speak.
Yeah, it's coming down harder now on track, and obviously by the amount of retirement we've got, this is showing where we are in with regard to the weather. So I think it'll be a long 5 minutes for us to talk about, Gareth, with not much going on track, I don't think. I mean, Family Guy's still going round, obviously hasn't a lap, and it's going to be very difficult to improve their laps now. So, yeah, maybe someone will be trying to be interesting to us and put a set of wets on just for entertainment value.
Maybe it'll be giving us something interesting to go through. But I'm sure we can pick out a lot of things with this historic track. I'll just quickly go to the chat and speak to Hayden. Say in the chat saying, a nice non-rigged league. And for those of you who don't know, I did the driver draw, for his league TOR on Tuesday, and he basically called exactly what was going to happen. What team? Well, apart from the team he was going to get, he managed to get his teammate right down to the ground and very nearly the car as well. Interesting. Anyway, nonetheless, sorry, Hayden. I nearly got my P45 from TOR, and I'd only been there for a season. Anyway, back to F1 XL, and well, it doesn't really look like anyone's going to be pushing. And here comes Binary is out on track anyway. And I've got to admit, I kind of expect this from Binary. This not. It's mind games, he's staying out. A lot of his main contenders, Light Shock, okay, maybe not Sloppy and Nuthead, if he got his act together, maybe him as well, they're probably wanting him to retire, as many of the others probably out there, but he's staying out on track and getting himself used to a little bit wet weather out there. And if that's the case, obviously the rain at the end of the race, this could actually go to Binary's favour. He's not going to start. He's not going to go quicker than his medium run. He's got a set of tyres on in a wet condition track. Do you think that's going to give him a slight advantage?
I was about to say that. I mean, he's 2 seconds down, so like you mentioned, obviously he's not going to go quicker. But the fact that he's practicing on slick tyres in wet conditions, that could be the difference if it does rain in this Grand Prix, where it's that changeover period where they're not sure, where most drivers don't, they don't practice that too much. They practice the wet and the dry, but not the in between. So this is a great opportunity, and it might really highlight, the depth that Binary has that we haven't seen this season. We haven't really seen enough of Binary this season yet. I mean, he's got 2 podiums, 40th and the 7th. So not the Binary that we know and love as of yet. So hopefully tonight will be that kick-off for him. But like you mentioned, the fact that he's able to go out and almost practice than some of the other drivers is a great addition. I say that, but Swain's also doing the same thing as well. So Swain's clocked onto it, Gareth.
Might be a smart idea, and I'm surprised that others haven't as well. We've obviously got the likes of Jolly, Hypers, Phoenix out as well. And while Jolly and Hyper are very, very quick, I don't. It's not that I don't want to say. It sounds mean if I say I don't think that they stand a chance this week, but I think this week, especially hearing Hypers on Wednesday's extra show, he as he's retired now, he wasn't. I think I've just dropped. I don't know if I've dropped something, or the cat has managed to get himself into my room. Anyway, apologies about that. Just brain going elsewhere. And Binary's still going out, and I don't see a quicker lap time from him yet. And yeah, definitely slower. With a minute left of the session, I think he's now just getting some practice in, really, and I think it's a good idea. Swain's doing the same, the rest of them. I mean, this is mind games, and maybe this is Swain playing mind games back at Binary. I don't know. At the end of the day, I could never do mind games in racing because I just don't have the capacity. I'm either racing or I'm thinking too much about a witty comeback to. I mean, you've all heard my commentary. It's bad enough trying to say about a Renault sandwich.
Yeah, the only thing I've got closer to mind games is taking my time coming out of the pits, or maybe putting my car in an awkward position on track to a rival when I did league race. But they do work, though, guys. I mean, we've seen it in this league and in real life. You can't really affect some people who have a short fuse, or they get distracted too easily. So Suede may be trying the tactic now, because he's the only one on. Well, him and Binary, the only ones on circuit, and you know, I'm sure everyone else has wanted them to come in so they can get going with the session. But yeah, I think they've got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, let's see if Binary ducks into the pits. No, he's going to cross the line and have another lap on those softs. And let's have a look-see at Master Swain, who's invalidated his lap time. So it's obviously wet out there, but you can see the little dart there, and he pops into the pits to finish the session off here in Japan. And wow, I think this is going to be one of those races, to be honest, especially if there is rain at the end. Definitely channeling my inner Murray Walker. If I say 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 laps, please let me know. Light Shock then is on pole for this race, and Sanchez, in second. In third is championship leader Master Swain, and fourth is last week's winner Sloppy. In fifth is Xbox Nuthead, and sixth alongside him is Stracker. Sinful Chris is in seventh, while Binary is in eighth on the median key stat there. Niels 998 then in ninth place. 10th is TMS Sora, and 11th is TMS Matt. Hyper in 12th. 13th is Phoenix with Jolly in 14th. 15th is Prophet Midi, 16th is Madman, 17th is Pickled Avenger, Pingers in 18th, Assassin Bear in 19th, and then I think Family Guy failed to set a lap time, so he will be starting last no matter. But that's a harsh stat. But it's a lot sunnier now at the moment.
Yeah, sun shining, nice to see the big wheel in the background. The cars seem to be doing a little bit of jumping up and down low rider style in on my screen. But yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Japan when it's sunny is a great race, and these guys, like I always say, it's a great mix of drivers and track, and I'm sure we'll have another good race.
Yeah, I've got that as well. Looking in the, I'm pointing at the screen. I don't know why, because no one can see me pointing it. But it's like San Andreas. Did you ever play GTA San Andreas? It's like the hydraulics in that. Anyway, enough about that. As we're waiting for the drivers to set up, a little bit more from last week's race. I think Sinful Chris, even though he crossed the line in 5th, he had the timing glitch which put him to 8th. But the stewards decided to give him back 5th place, which is the right thing. And he's had one of the most consistent seasons, starts of the seasons that I've ever seemed to remember from him. That's a 5th place, a win in France, and then a 5th place. So he likes the number 5 at the moment. But looking through it, I mean, it's weird to think that Swain has only got an 18-point lead over Sloppy, and he's not finished any lower than second. For some reason, that to me is just a weird point gap. But I mean, that's just how close F1XL is this season and last season as well to us. And obviously, we know Binary is capable of more. Light Shock is capable of more as well. And unfortunately, there's no Viper, because it would have been interesting to see. There was a little bit of trash talk between Swain and Viper from what I remember the other night as well. Those two trying to get in each other's heads. But interesting nonetheless, and I think they're both very quick. And on the quick subject of that, before the session starts, F1XL does have an esports race tomorrow night. It won't be commentated on by myself or Ollie. It's done separately. And yeah, I don't even know who it's from, to be perfectly honest. However, it is Swain and Viper who are representing the F1XL crew. But as we wait for the formation lap to start, the first singular one there, Ollie, your takes on this Grand Prix and how it's going to go?
Whoa, what my take on this Grand Prix? Well, I know it's going to be exciting, but I've got no idea who's going to win. With such a tight grid and a shake-up, like you mentioned, the fact that you've got drivers starting on those medium tyres. Binary, Sora, Matt and Hypers in the top 12 at least. It's going to be a close one. Could this be like we mentioned, the start for Light Shock? Sloppy's win last week with fantastic. Swain already shown how quick he is around here. Binary's got a point to prove, starting in 8th. God, it's going to be a tricky one, isn't it, to try and predict? But it's going to be another good one. Fantastic circuit. We've seen so many great races around here in the past in F1 XL and as well in real life. So I'm hoping for another good race, but I'm not sure who's going to take the mantra for this one, Gareth.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. I don't know. Looking at the tyre strategy, Binary's in a good position. He's starting on those mediums. Very interesting to say. Qualifying is a bit skew-whiff. We've seen people that maybe shouldn't be that high up, and that's no disrespect to Xbox Nuthead, because I know he's a quick driver, but usually he's a bit further down, maybe an 8th or 9th. He could cause some real problems in this, and I'm really looking forward to how it's all going to pan out. Who I think is going to win is a complete question that I don't want to. I think I said Sinful Chris on Wednesday, but I don't even know now. I don't want to hazard a guess, but I am. I'm gonna change my vote, and I'm gonna say Light Shock.
Okay, I'll just go something different. He wasn't my prediction, but I'm going to change it and go for Master Swain, but very close with Sloppy, Light Shock, and the rest of the grid.
They're all going to be separated by 1/10 of a second.
Exactly.
I can't remember when it was, but there was a qualifying session where Frentzen, Villeneuve, and Schumacher all got the same qualifying time. And
Jerez?
It could have been. I don't remember. But as we wait for everyone to settle into space, waiting for Family Guy to pop in, and this is a horrendous camera angle to start the race with. Thank you. Let's go board with Sloppy then to start this race. We're waiting for the lights. I don't see the lights. Oh, this is fun. Okay, here we go. And away we go. It looks like a really good start there from Sanchez. Swain has got a really good start as well. Up the inside, and Light Shock has dropped already. Swain into P2. Sloppy then trying to follow him through, and it looks like he has an Xbox Nuthead going up the inside of Light Shock, but I don't think he's got the position there. Stracker and Sinful Chris then side by side. Sinful Chris is going to try and hang it around, and he's got the position on the Ferrari driver, who's now going to be the one holding up Binary. Any movement from below?
Not really. Madman can disqualify for not starting the Grand Prix. Just didn't get off the line. I'm not sure what happened with Madman, whether it was something his controller died or his wheel, but not too much movement in the back. Binary are being on board with staying in 8th, doing his job. Crucially for him, needs to not drop back on those medium tyres, but everyone obviously very, very close, but looks like everyone's still got their front wing, which is great to see.
Yeah, it's great to see. Jolly looking very racy as well, up 3 positions right behind Sora at the moment, and Sora's staying in 10th, but only just. Let's drop back down that pack a little bit, because Jolly is flying as well. This is one that maybe he's got the race pace over the qualifying pace this week. We know both McLarens have been very rapid this season already, but Jolly then going up the inside into 130R and pushing. Oh no, there's contact between the Alpha and the McLaren. Sora's retired, and that produces a safety car, nullifies the grid, and into the pits for Nuthead and a lot of drivers.
Yeah, a lot of. I didn't see what happened there, Gareth, but there's a few drivers in. Chris, probably Meady, Nuthead, Niels, Jolly, and Phoenix all making pit stops. Can you describe what happened? Because unfortunately I missed what happened with Sora.
So 130R, which very, very difficult. Is it turn 18? Is it turn 18? No, it's not. It's turn 15, isn't it?
It is turn 15, yeah.
Very difficult corner to go side by side with, and we've seen it before between 2 heavyweights, Binary and Viper, a few seasons ago. And if you watch the intros a lot, you'll know it's that. It's in there as well. It could actually be. It's definitely Light Shot. No. is Vidal, and it could be King Liam or Binary. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, it shows that I don't watch the intro enough anymore. But at the moment, it's saying Prophet Meaty leads the race, but it's definitely not the case. Swain then, I think, well, Sanchez, Swain, Sloppy and Lightshock, I don't think they were able to jump into the pits, and I think they may have been given a bum hand here because that safety car came out a bit late.
Yeah, I'm just thinking Chris, Nuthead, Niels and Prophet and Jolly and Phoenix get everybody at the bottom could be in a great position here. They pitted already, and I presume they've gone on to the hard and mediums again, mix from those drivers, but onto the hards. And could we see them go to the end of the race? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. We saw drivers last week doing it in last week in Swain and Jolly on hards and mediums respectively. Whether they can do it again here in Japan, we'll have to wait and see, but those guys definitely want to keep an eye out once everyone has done their first lot of pit stops. But looking at the front, Gareth, Lightshock had a poor start, down 3 positions from where he started on pole. Pole, yeah.
Yeah, not what he would have wanted at all, Lightshock. Maybe a little bit of nerves kicking in. It's been the first time in a while that he's had to be that lead driver, and we don't know. Well, I'm sure he will kick it back up. And now this changes the whole dynamic of the race. It was very much a soft hard in this race. Now it's going to be a soft medium, and it opens the door for Binary to be on softs at the end of the Grand Prix as well, which is going to be a really interesting situation. And I know you've touched on it. Jolly then into the pits for hards now. I was going to say I'm like 100% certain, more certain than I was last week, that his tyres would explode, and I think even he's realised that mediums would not take him to the end this time round. But Sanchez, Swain, very, very good start, and I've got to give it to Sanchez. He was rocketing from the start, and maybe Lightshock wasn't asleep as much as I thought because of Sanchez's start. And I've just dropped it.
Yeah, so Sanchez, notoriously fantastic in qualifying, but not so brilliant in the Grand Prix. And we saw it in Canada last year, where he did dominate, and I think he won by 5 or 6 seconds at the end of that race. But could this be, we're back to the traditional circuits on the calendar, and Canada, of course, last year we mentioned being one of those traditional circuits, and it could be just he prefers those sort of old school circuits. And today is showing. I think qualifying definitely helped with the rain and the fact that everyone couldn't get out properly. But this could be the redemption race for Sanchez, and like I mentioned, the kickstart to his season. I know I've mentioned a few drivers that it could be their kickstart, but there's a lot of promise in this Grand Prix. And again, for Sanchez starting on pole, in first position at the moment, he's going to have to nail this restart as the safety car is in on this lap.
Now, obviously, we saw last week the Sloppy get away with his safety car restart. It's not the same kind of layout as it is in Russia, but there is a long straight to navigate, and if Sanchez goes too early, then I'm sure Swain, Sloppy, Lightshock, all of them behind, ready to pounce. But when does that AlphaTauri go? And he has gone. Swain's not, I don't think he's got a big enough gap from Swain at the moment. Swain's going to dart down there, but actually I think Sanchez might be all right. Let's go have a look. Yeah, there's no Senna Frost moment there, and Swain stays behind the AlphaTauri for now.
Yeah, it looked like he bolted it coming out of turn 17, and he's managed to stay ahead for now. Gap's not really changing too much as they come through the S's after the restart. So good job from Sanchez, and I'm sure these guys on the soft tyres are going to have to try and get away as quickly as possible. Straka already has 0.8 over Binary at the moment, but we'll see how those gaps start to change as they get into the groove now, Gareth.
I'm just sat on board with Family Guy, and it looks like he's ghosting, so I'm not sure what's going on with the Ferrari driver there, but we'll wait and see, I'm sure. Let's pop up to the lead and have a look at this. Sanchez from Swain, from Sloppy to Lightshock. Binary starting to fall away from this a little bit, which is kind of understandable considering he's on the medium compound tyre, but he doesn't want to lose too much ground. I think ideally he would have preferred to stay in the DRS range of Straka ahead, but he is pulling away from Matt 45 behind, so a little bit of comfort in that. But this is a controlled race from Sanchez at the moment.
Yeah, no DRS enabled as of yet, unless it has been re-enabled post safety car. So, but Swain looking pretty racy as always. Let's see if it does open up. Has it opened up? No, it still hasn't opened, unless my eyes are deceiving me. But the yeah, he's doing a good job so far. But Swain's starting to reel that in now, Gareth. It's now coming down to 3/4 tenths where he was 5 or 6 in the previous lap. So Swain showing his experience and he knows how to lead Grand Prix. He knows how to race, where Sanchez might be that little bit more inexperienced compared to Swain. As he's gone wide coming round turn 7, and that allows Swain straight up the inside. As Sloppy will also go through. So like I mentioned, Gareth, that maybe that naivety of not leading a Grand Prix. He's made a mistake. He's made more mistakes coming out of the second Degner, and that's allowed Light Shock through. Can Straka make it through as well? I think he'll be able to. He's going to have to go around the outside of turn 11. Can Straka go around the outside? I think he's got the legs on him, and he's up into P4, and Sanchez from first down to 5th in a matter of 5 or 6 corners.
And already Swain has built a 7/10 second over Sloppy. I thought Sloppy was a lot closer than that before this, but such unfortunate for the AlphaTauri driver dropping to 5th, and now he's got Binary all over the back of him as well, who's pulled away from map 45. So Binary in with the mediums, having a very, very solid race at the moment in 6th place. Light Shock up a position, trying to capitalise on what he's done wrong, and Assassin Bear gets overtaken by Sinful Chris, and Sinful Chris's next target is his teammate F1XL Pingers. As DRS is now enabled, so I was very early with my mistake there. Just before this Binary then. I don't know when how much further these softs are going to run for. I'm sure these guys will push them as far as they can, but Swain in these S's is near untouchable.
Yeah, he's already got a second over Sloppy here, showing his dominance once again in this league, and he mentioned earlier, last week, that he's good around this track, and he's showing that already, and that gap is increasing to Sloppy. Lap after, corner after corner at the moment. Sloppy struggling slightly, but still being pretty quick with keeping Light Shock directly behind him. But like I said, I don't know when those tyres are going to start to switch off. Those soft tyres, they can't be too long unless it was simply a mistake from Sanchez and not the tyres themselves. But I can't imagine they go more than 10 laps, Gareth.
No, I think that will be pushing it in itself, even with that safety car, as we see Xbox Nuthead pushing Niels 998 around and through. I think that's turn 12 into 13 and into Spoon, which is technically 13 to 14. And Xbox Nuthead up into 12th place on those hard compound tyres, and he is very, very quick compared to Assassin at the moment. Let's have a quick look at Binary, who's all over the back of Sanchez now. Into the back. Ooh. So anticipate. Binary's caught a little bit of the curb there, but has not lost him out too much. Sanchez keeping him to the outside, but Binary looks like he's got the pace round the outside, and Sanchez down into 6th place, just behind Hyper gets past map 45 as well.
I wonder whether this damage to Binary's car is a big old hit. Difficult to see. He's got both the end plates on the Red Bull still there, but whether there's that sort of slight damage, it's difficult to tell from us in the commentary box, and Binary feeling it more than we know, but we'll have to wait and see. But Binary getting past that, and Sanchez maybe struggling on those tyres now, maybe the fact that he's still a bit nervous after that incident he had 2 laps ago. We're not sure, but back at the front, it's still so lean this Grand Prix, and that gap is coming down now. Sloppy now within, it's around about that second mark. So Swain reducing that lead, or maybe it's the tyres are starting to fall off the cliff, Gareth.
We'll definitely wait and see. And let's have a quick look at the gap to the leader, and Sinful Chris is the big pointer here for Master Swain, and it's only a 10-second gap at the moment. So interestingly, that's going to be a huge weight on Swain's head, but he's 1.2 seconds in front of Sloppy now. Maybe we're going to see him coming in very soon, because he's trying to get the legs on the guys behind.
Yeah, the problem with Swain, though, he does come in, he's going to be in a heap of traffic, as Lightshot's got past Sloppy coming down the main straight there. Unfortunately, I think I missed that on a screen as Sanchez is in the pits on the end of lap 7. But Lightshot getting back closer to where he started and crucially getting past Sloppy. So Sloppy's going to have to drag along with him, otherwise he's going to drop back even further. 1.4 splits Master Swain and Lightshock at this moment on time on lap number 8. But like you mentioned, Chris up into 10th place now, Gareth. He is one to keep an eye on.
Just looking back, thinking back to qualifying, I think Sanchez put an extra 2 laps on his tyres. I could be wrong. It could be the glitch that we always get. But interesting fact that Pingers hasn't let Sinful Chris through, even though the second Williams driver, or the lead Williams driver, is not in a good position, as there's a little bit of a back end wobble there from Pingers, and will that allow his teammate through around the outside? I don't think there's much defending there from Pingers, but he's going to cover off Xbox Nuthead before he can get into the action. But Nuthead is looking very, very racy and in a very good position in P11 right now.
Yeah, he is, and he's on the back of Pingers as they come down towards turn 15. Can he get past before there? Can they go side by side to 130? Oh, they're not going to try it through there, but as they come up to the castle trying to, can Xbox Nuthead do anything here? Oh no, Pingers almost crashes in the back of his teammate. Senna Prost almost coming through there. Luckily, no contact whatsoever, and Pingers drops back a few positions, but luckily no contact or no damage. But God, I think the Pingers' life flashed before his eyes there, Gareth.
I don't know about his, mine definitely did. Binary getting through Straka on that as well, but I'm glad I stayed on board with that, because we would have missed F1XL Pingers nearly planting into the back of his teammate. And I know his team owner, Arnie, who is his birthday today, by the way, happy birthday Arnie, he would not have been happy that his teammates would have taken themselves out. But same corner as Senna and Prost, as going back a fair few years.
Yeah, it was not side by side, but almost both drivers coming into contact and ending their race prematurely in this Grand Prix at least. But luckily they both managed to get through it unscathed, and Pingers drops back a little bit, but he's on a different strategy to Chris and drivers behind. But those guys have now got some fresh air, and they'll be on a charge now to catch up with Pickled Avenger, who's in P8, who should be pitting sooner rather than later, like the other soft drivers who I can't imagine will be doing no more than 2 or 3 more laps on those soft tyres.
Yeah, I think Swain is looking for an opportune moment for him to pit, but then that will also open up the others pitting as well, as there is movement behind. But I am just looking at this battle here in the timing screen, because Sinful Chris isn't, well, considering there is a little bit of space for him to attack, as Prophet Meaty gets past his teammate. Sinful Chris isn't catching Swain, so Swain's still got the advantage at the moment.
Yeah, but the problem with Swain, he's going to come out in a heap of traffic, while Chris is all the drivers ahead of him have to pit, so they'll just peel off when they need to, and Chris doesn't have to do that much overtaking. So it might work out in Chris' favour, but of course he's on the harder tyre, which will then die at one point while Master will be on fresher tyres. So it's that tyre debate like we saw last week, Gareth, whether holding out longer or pitting and then trying to go fast at the end. So we'll see where that gets to. But Chris picking up the pace now, and he's got to be careful because both Mercedes are right on his tail coming round the hairpin at 11. And I'm sure he's hoping that he can latch onto the DRS of Pickled Avenger for at least one more lap.
It looks like Lightshock has put maybe a little bit extra into the this lap, because he's catching Master Swain. I wonder if this is a sign that Lightshock is in this lap. We'll wait and see for sure. But let's have a go on board with Xbox Nuthead. He's dropped himself back to 11 after letting his teammate past. But I think he's just waiting and just sitting in the wings, I think is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I'm sure those two Mercedes are talking together and going, okay, I'll let you have a pop at him. If you can't get past him, let me back through and I'll try again. So good job from the Mercedes team. We don't normally see teammates working together in the race. It's more qualifying we see it, especially at Baku earlier in round 2 of the season. But they'll be working together, and you already can see that Prophet is going a little bit quicker than Nuthead at this moment in time, and trying his best to get past Chris, who's again stuck behind Pickled Avenger here as well, so they're all stuck behind each other in this little train that's formed fighting for P8.
It looks like Sinful Chris is struggling through the S's there, or the S curves, and Prophet has a much better line, and coming into the Denya curve, he's right up the back end of that Williams, but has to pull out of his normal line. But Pickled Avenger definitely holding these guys up at the moment.
Yeah, he is, and it's almost, you know, they can't go full. Oh my word, how close are they coming through that hairpin? There was millimetres, if not micrometers, between those drivers coming through the hairpin there, but luckily they all make it through, and the concertina effect allowed them to get so close to there. But round spoon they go. Can Chris get past the Pink Panther coming down towards 130R here? He'll try his best. It's 3/10 splitting them now. I don't think he's going to be close enough coming through 130R, but up to turn 16 and 17 he might have a chance on the brakes. His tyres are in a better condition, but he's not close enough at the moment, and neither is Prophet. But the top guys are into the pits as well, Gareth, in massive swaying light shock as he peels off Pickled Avenger, and this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Prophet Mealy to get past Chris coming down to turn 1. He goes to the outside coming through turn 1. Can he go hang around the outside? It's going to be difficult, but I think he's going to be able to do it, and he's round he goes. Great move from Prophet Mealy. That is a move for the ages, Gareth. Great move from the Mercedes driver, and he's up into P4.
Yeah, so with the help of the pit lane, he has got some massive positional gain there, and he's now 2.5 seconds behind TMS Matt, who's yet to pit. Binary, Hyper and Matt, don't forget, have yet to pit in this Grand Prix at the front running. Light Shock has got past Assassin there, who he came out of behind the pit, so that's extra time. He would not have wanted to be battling someone. Sloppy gets through as well, but I think that's more teammate orientated there. Let's see what is happening. Sinful Chris now struggling now to keep up with Prophet Mealy, I think, but we'll wait and see. It could be an Urs thing, just holding the line. But Sinful Chris definitely struggling through those S's, which allowed Prophet Mealy that extra little bit of pace.
Yeah, I think it all worked in Prophet's favour there, coming with the pit stops, and Chris not having a chance to use any DRS coming down that straight. But it was a great move from Prophet, and like you mentioned, Chris struggling through those S's, and it might allow Nuthead to make a move coming into Degner 1 or Degner 2, potentially on the next lap, unless he can get him on the pit straight. But Binary, Hypers and Matt are on another strategy. There's 3 strategies at play here with the drivers and what they're doing. So we're not sure what Binary can do with you, Gareth. I'm not sure where he's going to come out and who's going to be battling with, really.
I'm not sure he would have wanted that safety car so early on and into the pits then for pingers for what I can only suggest is a hard compound tyre for the Williams driver. But yeah, Binary setting the fastest lap then, so obviously got a little bit extra pace into... As there's Madman leaving, sorry. Got a little bit extra pace and didn't use as much as he would have usually done while in that battle. But Swain then into P10 after that pit stop. And put now into a battle. Let's go on board actually with the Renault driver, because he's all around the back of a Alfa Romeo of TMG Phoenix.
Yeah, Swain Phoenix hasn't. Oh, he pitted early on with that lead group of Nuthead, Chris, and who else was I think Jolly was in that pit stop phase, but Swain's going to get him pretty easily, it looks like, as he's gone wider on Spoon, and Swain a relatively easy move, I think, but he might struggle here. They might be side by side coming through 130R. Are they going to? It looks like Swain just about gets ahead before they hit the apex, and that is allowed Swain up the inside, so fairly easy move from the Renault driver there, and that's him up into P9. But Swain got a long way to go now, and he hasn't got any DRS for the next 5 seconds, Gareth. So Swain's got to be pushing now on lap 14.
An old adversary, Jolly, in front of him as well, who could very well go to the end of the Grand Prix on those hard compound tyres. So an interesting one to play out, really. Binary 3.7 seconds ahead of McLaren driver DG Hypers, and then TMS Map 45 in P3. So a different Renault driver to what we are used to seeing in the those positions, but those 3 drivers still have to pit, and Prophet Meady is all over the back of that said Renault.
Yeah, he's Matt 13 laps on those medium tyres now. You can see him struggling a little bit, weaving and slightly sliding coming out of that hairpin. And Prophet Meady, obviously, fresh hard tyres still on that Mercedes as they come round Spoon for the 14th time. This should be a fairly easy move for Prophet as they come down towards 130R. Whether he can get him before then or have to wait until he gets into the hairpin, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's close enough at the moment to get past the Renault driver. But Matt doing a great job on those mediums, but Prophet that much quicker at this moment in time as he locks up slightly. And Chris, you've got to be careful as well of not to behind him, Gareth, but we'll stay on board with Prophet as he comes round the last corner. He looks in a prime position to overtake the Renault. He goes to the inside line. I think he should be able to get past him before they even get to the corner, and yes, they do, and that is Prophet up into P3. And unfortunately for Nutten, he still hasn't been able to get past Chris.
He's struggling a little bit just to find the extra yard of pace as there goes Lightshock, fastest lap of the race so far in P11 there. And well, Swain is seemingly bringing Phoenix along, but that doesn't look like it's done his defence to Lightshock any good behind. We'll wait and see if there's anything popping a bit later on, as I'm on board with Jolly just all over the back as he picks up a 3-second time penalty there of Niels. I seem to be getting the penalties as they happen, which is quite handy.
Isn't it? But also the fact that you're commentating cursing some of the drivers, I think, on circuit as well.
I mean, that's not me. I don't know what you want about. Let's go on board with Sinful Chris then, as he's all over the back. Oh, look, he's got a penalty. No. Sinful Chris then all over the back of Map 45. Will he make an easy overtake on the Renault driver just like Prophet Meady did, or is it going to be a little bit more difficult? Nuthead is closer to Sinful Chris this time round as well, so that's one to watch as well. I wonder if Nuthead will try anything here.
Yeah, he's very close coming out of turn 17 and 18 there, and Chris struggling at the moment. I'm not sure whether it's a setup or something else that he's struggling with, but he's not close enough to Matt. It looks like coming into turn 1, and he's going to struggle. Like we said, Chris seems to be struggling through these S's, and this might allow Nuthead once again to get on the back of him, but it seems that they're quicker at the wrong times against each other, and they can't get past, at least Nutter can't get past Chris at the moment. But Matt's starting to struggle now on those 15 laps on those hard tyres, so they're getting towards the end of their lifetime as they come through turn 7, 8 and 9. But Nuthead looking closer and closer, Gareth. He might have an opportunity coming into the hairpin here, but I don't know. It's so close. It's so difficult to try and predict when he's going to make that overtake.
It's very, very close quarter stuff going on at the moment, and a little bit further down we see Lightshock overtake Phoenix as well, which has split Lightshock and Sloppy up, which is an interesting conundrum to face as well. Swain has still got a 1.8 seconds lead over, gap between himself and Lightshock, but he's slowly crawling to Jolly ahead, but he desperately needs some of those Map 45 binary and hypers to pit. Let's have a look at the time to the leader, and Swain is only 17 seconds behind, so at the moment... Is there damage to anyone's car? I don't think there is, but that was very close.
Yeah, wasn't it? I think Matt broke a little bit earlier, and Chris had to stamp on the brakes, and Matt had contact with the Williams, but it looks like they've all still got all 4 wheels in their wagon. But Nuthead looking racy behind Chris. Can he go up the inside? No, Chris defends the inside coming through turn 1, and he will stay in P5 for now. But the fact they can't get past Matt, Gareth, is impacting their race so much, and the likes of Swain, Lightshock and Sloppy are all catching him so quickly, and this is allowing Binary to run away with it whenever he pits as well. He's got a 5.2 second gap now to Hypers. Prophet's managed to get through, and look at the gap. It's 2.6 split Prophet and Matt. The gap he's created since overtaking the Renault driver. Chris and Nuthead are losing so much time here.
Yeah, it's not great at all, but that's a phenomenal job by TMS Map 45 at the moment. It's helping his teammate out to no end at all, I think, is the best thing about it. And Gunhead in the chat saying all aboard a Matt train, and I think it's more like a I don't know, it's like a Sunday driver. I won't go into much more detail than that, but Jolly making his way past Niels. So Niels soon will be wanting to pit. Those mediums will not take him to the end. And Simple Chris can't get past map 45 yet. As we look from the overview, and here comes Simple Chris trying to have a look up the inside. Oh, and I've gone the wrong way on the camera, and he's still... Oh, and look at that. It's just not quite happening for... Oh, and into the pits there goes map 45. Everyone's dropping into the pits. Binary going on to a set of softs to the end, and I knew this would happen. They're going to be rapid at this end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, and Nuthead's going around the outside of Chris. Oh, there's a little bit of contact between the Williams and the Mercedes coming through turn 1, but he can't get by for now. And Chris finally gets some clean air. But like I said, Binary into the pits. Where has he come out? He's come out in P10, fresh tyres, and he's not... He's got a couple of seconds back to Swain and the rest of the guys, but crucially, he's got ahead of Sanchez, who was fighting, as well as Straka as well, and Phoenix. Wow. Do you think they can go to the end of those hard tyres, Gareth, or are they going to come in once again? I don't know.
I think those hard runners are going to the end, so it's going to be an interesting one, as there goes Phoenix with a penalty, and I'm not on board with him in this time, so it's fine. Yeah, I think these guys are going to the end, as there's retirement from F1 XL Pingers, and is that a full course safety car? It is! What do people do? I think everyone's just got to go on to softs now, surely.
To stop Binary winning this, I think they've got to. Definitely. Obviously the hard one as well. We've seen it in the past, guys, where Swain hasn't pitted and stayed out and it's cost him. Whether he goes with what everyone else does, we'll have to wait and see, but there's going to be a frantic pit lane on lap 18 here.
I also want to add to that. We've seen him not pit, and it's won him the race.
True.
So, I mean, I don't think many people are happy with this, but let's have a look. There's Nuthead is going to be royally ruined with this. But yes, Swain staying out. With Sloppy staying out as well. Interesting. Hugely interesting strategy from those guys. Straka's staying it as well. How long can they keep Binary behind? I think Swain is just thinking about... I think both of them. They're both Swain and Sloppy are thinking about, well, if we're at the front and the others behind battle, you look at Bahrain at the end of last season, the short track. Perez was able to win that because people were battling behind and he was just able to put his foot down. Maybe that's what Swain and Sloppy are thinking. Well, if we help each other out, we don't have to worry about Binary because Binary is going to be worried about the guys behind. We'll wait and see.
Yeah. It's such a tricky conundrum this now, isn't it? Everyone, bar 3 drivers on those fresh soft tyres with, well, let's call it, when it comes in, 6 laps. Obviously those mediums will be fine. And obviously the soft Family Guy, the only one to stay out on those hard tyres, but again he's only done 8 laps, so no more pit stop unless there's damage for the drivers. But this is going to be a frantic end to the Grand Prix with what's going on, and those guys, Hypers, Prophet, Chris, Jolly are going to be so quick now, and they're going to be hunting down Binary, and well, Swain and Sloppy are going to have parked the bus as hard as we can in these last couple of laps.
Sorry, I switched my mics off instead of switching them on. I've completely lost my train of thoughts as well. But the last couple of laps is going to be huge. I just don't know anymore with these guys. It's always a little bit all over the place, and yeah.
But if we look at the winners and losers on at this point in the Grand Prix, Prophet Media up 9 positions from where he started, Hyper's up 7 and Jolly up 6 respectively, so good job from those guys. And then the losers, Sanchez down 12 positions from where he started, not a great race for Sanchez. And Lightshock again, Gareth, another driver he started on pole, down to 12th place, so again those drivers not having the best weeks. Once again, it's not been a good start to the season for both those drivers really.
No, it's not great. Lightshock, I mean, you look at him and I feel sorry. I do want to touch back on Lightshock in a minute, but I feel really sorry for Xbox Nuthead. He really should be in 7th place right now. Him and Prophet Meaty had to double stack, and it's cost him a very, very strong position.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Obviously, both having to pit at the same time, being so close to each other, that's cost Nuthead. But he's got a couple of laps still to get by, and he is quicker than some of the drivers ahead of him. So he's got every opportunity, if he can be clinical enough, to get by and get some points in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think he's... Yeah, but just... I don't know. I don't know how you can be clinical, because we saw this, was it France? With Lightshock, he just couldn't get through the grid. And it's very, very difficult to be clinical. And that could be Swain's saving grace here, is France safety car there. But just looking at the chat, and Pingers is saying he lost it at the curb and just couldn't catch it. So unfortunate for Pingers there, but yeah.
As the safety car is in on lap number 20, Gareth, and Swain will be conducting the restart here. And when will he jump? And how quickly will Binary be able to catch up with the top two?
Let's get down to it, I think, is the best way. Let's see what Swain does. How and when will he go? Will he go on the last corner like we've seen before? And Sloppy thinks he would, and he hasn't. And there he is, he's gone now, and he's left it late. And Binary is always sitting, I don't want to say sitting duck, but caught out there nearly by Stracker. And there goes Hypers going up the inside of the Ferrari. Please don't collect each other, guys. Up the inside, there's nothing there. And Hypers is sticking it up the inside of Stracker, trying to keep it in there at the moment. And now Prophet Meaty, that's battling away there. And Second Chris tried, but nothing in the end.
Yeah, incredibly close there with Stracker and Hypers, and Prophet Meaty trying to go up the inside to the start of turn 2, but unfortunately not managing to get by. But crucially for Swain, 7/10 of the Sloppy already, caught him not napping, but Sloppy couldn't get through as Lightshock gets a penalty as well down in P12, and Nuthead's managed to get by. Oh no, he hasn't. He's still in the same position. But something's happened on your screen.
Yeah, just at the hairpin, just battling away there. Let's drop back a little bit, as there was some side-by-side action between Niels and Xbox Nuthead. Those two are still side-by-side into Spoon then, and Nuthead has not conceded the position, but just not able to get the move done. Let's go on board with Binary, because he's all over the back of TES Sloppy at the moment, and here he comes. And I don't think he's going to get him to 130R, but he's looking very racy right now.
Yeah, the top guys are looking very racing. It's great to see also Stracker. We haven't seen the best of him, but further back, Hypers and Prophet Media are racing once again. And this could be a great opportunity. Someone else has gone on the grass in the background. I think that might be Niels, who's made a mistake coming into the chicane. But looks like Hypers is on the back straight. Junk high, just not there. He's not close enough coming through down the end of the straight. But like I mentioned, Stracker, it's great to see him up at the top again, Gareth. We haven't seen the best of him yet, but good job from the Ferrari driver. But Swain's been reeled in once again, Gareth. He was almost up to a second on the last lap, but Sloppy and Binary getting into the groove and catching him fairly quickly.
Yeah, but this S section just seems to be his strong suit at the moment, and that's where he needs to just keep, even if he just keeps the gap. But he has lost a little bit through Decna 2 there, actually, so that's a little bit of worry. And there's Xbox Nuthead retiring, so I wonder what's happened to Nuthead. That's big, and that was in the pit lane as well. Oh, and Hyper, Prophet Meaty trying to go up the inside of the McLaren there, as I was on board with the McLaren as he was following Stracker through the hairpin. And wow, some cracking stuff at the moment. And here comes Prophet again, but nothing to it. There's a full course yellow by the looks of things for some reason, and I think that could very well be Nuthead's car, but we'll wait and see. And yeah, Binary then. I think I'll go on board quickly with the Red Bull driver as he's all over the back of the Haas of Sloppy.
Yeah, he's going to have to go around the outside though, and he's not going to be able to get through at this point on the circuit, but he's got a better exit coming out of turn 17 and 18, and can he get past the Haas on lap 23? He's going to have to go to the inside. Sloppy can't defend, he's not quick enough. It looks like a fairly easy overtake for Binary there. And the next man on his hit list is Master Swain. 7/10 split, first and second, with 4.5 laps remaining of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, so not long to go at all, and well, we've been blessed with cracking races here in the past at Japan in real life as well as in F1 XL. But Binary then trying his best now to claim another victory here, his first of the year, which or first of the season to be precise, round 5. But he's already all over the back of Master Swain, and those soft tyres are working a treat for him. And I'm trying to think where Swain would have come out. Swain would have been 9th roughly right now, so it's probably for the best that he didn't pit.
Yeah, no, I mean, we mentioned in the past where he's not pitted and it's worked out, and I think unfortunately Binary has just managed to dispatch of Sloppy fairly easily, and it's allowed him to catch up pretty rapidly to Swain. But Swain is a great defender, and we've seen it in the past, but can he defend long enough to allow maybe Sloppy or Straka and Hypers and the rest of the gang to keep up and catch? But here we go on the beginning of lap 24. He's gone to the inside, he's weaving along the pit straight, trying to break that toe coming down the straight, but it looks like he's not close enough. Binary coming into turn 1 on lap 24. We'll have to stay behind him for, well, at least this section. We don't normally see them side by side through the S's, but Binary looking ever so quick once again, Gareth, on those fresh soft tyres.
He's got the advantage on those, and I think Swain did the right thing. You're allowed to do that, you're allowed to go defensive, and okay, it was very early to the braking zone, you've gone back onto the racing line, but that will be his defence, and I'm pretty certain Binary will question that and put a ticket in, but we'll wait and see. Again, we're seeing Swain very quick through the S's and the Degners there, 1 and 2, and that just gives him a little bit of a respite.
Yeah, you could see the gaps increasing coming through the S section there, but Binary, once they get to this hairpin, he's so close to the back of that Renault as Viper seems to have joined further back. But back to the racing, it looks like Binary, can he get the move coming through Spoon and down to 130? I think he's going to be too far back at the moment, but he'll have a great opportunity to try and get him coming down that pit straight coming out of turn 17 and 18, Gareth, using that DRS he was very close on the last lap, and he might get the chance again on lap 25.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time. Binary just needs to be patient. I'm sure he knows that, but I think the crucial thing for Swain here is that he's like, you're looking back, and Sloppy and Straka still 4th and 5th respectively on the mediums, so people have got to, is Matt 45, has he made a mistake, or he's dropped well back, or has he just been caught out by light shock? He's just been caught out by light shock, so I apologise for my over enthusiasm there.
No, I think Matt just is light shock getting on with it. I think he's not the best race, so he's just getting his head down to try and gain as many places as he can in the dying embers of this Grand Prix. Binary dropped back, and he's got a penalty, Gareth. Binary gets a penalty on lap 25. That's going to give him 3 seconds, and he's going to drop back a heap of positions if the race ends like this. This is very costly for the Red Bull driver.
You know, when I said he had plenty of time, that time has run out pretty quickly, but I'm sure he's going to appeal that, and I do feel sorry for him because he did just lose the back end a little bit at the end of Degner 1, and it just threw him off the track. So, you know, it's just one of those game mechanics that throw him off. But here he comes up the inside then. Swain, very late defensive move there. I don't know if he knew Binary was there. That's uncharacteristic of Swain, but trying to keep indoors with Binary now, and he'll have DRS this lap, but with 2 laps remaining, Binary has still a chance to do something special here.
Yeah, no, he does. But Swain is still looking pretty racy as Hypers finally gets past Straka after so many laps. Unfortunately, we missed that. I just saw the end of it there. But can Hypers get onto the podium? Sloppy's struggling on those mediums now. 2 laps remaining for the Haas driver. Can he hold out and keep it on the podium? We'll have to wait and see. But can Swain take the lead back, or will it finish in the current position? We'll have to wait and see. Lap and a half to go, Gareth. It's getting tasty.
Prophet Meaty then trying around the outside of Straka into Degner 1, but Straka was not having any of it. And, well, I think Swain at the moment is thinking, oh no, let's look at Profit Media around the outside. There is yellow flag, and that's Light Shock, is it?
Light Shock just made a mistake coming out of Degner 2, Gareth, but back with Profit. He's side by side with the Ferrari, but managed to get through there. But Light Shock loses the back end coming out of Degner 2, Gareth, and unfortunately for him, he's down behind a teammate in P12 now.
It's not great at all. Light Shock, we've seen a lot of times that when the safety car is late, it's like bad luck just intensifies. And here comes Jolly then, trying to get around the outside of 130 and Stracker, and they're still there. He's still there. He's going to go for the move. Surely not up the inside, and he's got the move. Jolly up into P6, and that's a cracking overtake by the McLaren driver.
Great move from him, but watch out for Hypers, Gareth, and Sloppy coming down into turn 1. Hypers dives late up the inside. Can he make that move stick? Yes, he can. He's pushed the Haas wide, and that is Hypers up the inside on the final lap on corner number 1. Great late lunge from the McLaren driver. He's put it up into P3, and could this be his first podium of the season?
I'm sure he'll be absolutely thrilled with the podium after. I'm sure he said that it wasn't a track that he liked, but he's doing a phenomenal job at the moment. He's 2.3 seconds behind Master Swain. Swain is 9/10 behind Binary. Swain will be classified P2 at this rate, but we know a time appeal will pop in from him to get that 3-second time penalty away. I am certain of it. But Sloppy then struggling a little bit to P4, and what a drive we've seen from Sloppy. It's such a shame for him not to be on the podium after a wonderful race, and a wonderful race last week as well. But I'm sure he's going to continue to battle through. But let's go on board with the race winner this time, as I had to miss it last week, and I still feel so sorry for Sloppy there. But Binary probably helped by the safety car at the beginning, but we'll wait and see. Master Swain all over the back then of that Red Bull towards the end. He's done a great job to keep up with him, but it's all about Binary today and taking, well, the race there. Swain will take it on the day, but look at Hypers then, 0.818 seconds behind Binary, but will still finish on the podium. Sloppy then, what a drive, but unfortunately there. Profit Media gave us some excellent action in P5, and I think he probably would have wanted a little bit more. Simple Chris in P6, that's a great drive from him as well. Stracker in 7th place, and I won't do a full rundown just yet, but that was a wonderful race that we've just had, and I don't want to say ruined by safety cars, because it wasn't, but yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was a great race, and Sanchez gets the fastest lap of the race right at the last. But yeah, great race, and almost a race of what ifs if that safety car didn't happen at the end for the likes of Profit, Nuthead, Chris, who were on a good old run on those hard tyres. So annoying we didn't see that, but regardless, it was a great race, and great to see a different podium sitter in Hypers. But Swain will take the second win of the season, Gareth, and the first double winner of the year as well.
Yeah, we'll wait and see for certain to see who. Well, I'm saying certain a lot, to see who it will go to. It'll either extend the streak of different winners, or it will be the first double winner of the season. We'll wait and see on that one. But let's go down the order quickly, and it's Master Swain that takes victory from Binary IX. In third, and rounding out the podium, is DG Hypers. Sloppy was 4th after a great race there, and I'm definitely saying that more than once tonight because he had a cracking drive. Profit Media in 5th. In 6th place is Sinful Chris. 7th is Stracker. In 8th is Matt45. Jolly is in 9th. 10th is Pickled Avenger, to round out the points. In the non-scoring positions, it's 11th for Phoenix, 12th for Light Shock, and a race of what could have been for him, and such bad luck there. Family Guy in 13th, but I think he was ghosted for most of the race. And Assassin Bear in his debut for F1XL in 14th. 15th place is Niels998, and then Sanchez down in 16th. Non-finishers for Nuthead, Pingers, Sora, and TMS Madman.
What a race, Gareth. I mean, the Japan once again gives us a phenomenal race, and may it long continue in this league. Another great race, but we've got all the drivers in the party already. So great, thanks for getting in so quickly, guys. But let's have a chat to the race winner. I was going to have a chat to Swain, but he seems to have left. So we'll start with Binary. Binary, second place. So close right at the end, but that penalty changed things up. But talk us through your race. Start with the mediums, and I'm sure, I don't know whether safety cars really helped you or hindered you at the start, at least.
Actually, I think if you're on the harder tyres at the start and there's a safety car, it stops the guys in softs breaking away. Like, it protects obviously their tyres, not yours, so there's less of an advantage for it. Yeah, starting on the mediums wasn't obviously ideal with everyone starting on the softs. I just went out on mediums. I thought, I'll try it, and then I heard it was going to rain, so I was like, right, okay, I've got to absolutely blitz this lap, and a few mistakes, but yeah, it was all right in the end, I suppose. Especially since I was the lead person on the mediums, and Chris had like 30% tyre wear on the first lap because he did 3 runs on his softs. So yeah, it started off all right, but yeah, just maybe should have got the win maybe a little bit earlier, not get that penalty.
Yeah, I mean, was it just going wide, or was it a corner cut? Is it something you'd be looking to get removed? We didn't see it. I think was it maybe at Degna 1 or 2 maybe?
Exit Degna 1, turned in, and it just didn't turn, so I turned more, and it then just turned way too much. I got a snap, and I just basically went right over the curb, and it felt like I was like Tokyo drifting around the exit and had all my rear wheels on the gravel, but I don't think it was quite as bad as that.
Okay.
Just obviously heat in the moment. But yeah, just snap oversteer, and that just pretty much cost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shame, because I think that second safety car definitely helped. If I'd put a lap later, when the safety car actually came out, it would have been perfect, like ideal, because you've been on fresh tyres, but trying to get past Sloppy, who was obviously trying to deploy everything to get past Swain in the part, so I had to sort of make a move, and then yeah, just I knew Swain's pretty good on his ERS, so he wouldn't have been pushing particularly hard in case there was a threat of me sort of coming for it. But yeah, shame. I think I should have done better. Japan's usually a good track for me, but P2 is okay in the end, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I mean, a good haul of points after 7th place last week. But thank you, and we'll talk to Master Swain, who won the Grand Prix, our first double winner of the season. You mentioned last week, Swain, that Japan was one of your better circuits, and it's worked out once again here in F1 XL.
Yeah, I love Japan. It's such a great old school circuit. Fantastic to drive, and yeah, really happy.
Yeah, and for you, did everything go to plan? You was always the same strategy to go from mediums to soft to mediums, and we were questioning whether it was a good idea, whether you should have pitted or not.
Yeah, 2 safety cars definitely wasn't going to plan. Definitely didn't plan for that. But yeah, well, the last safety car, that was kind of, well, if I pit, I'm not winning this race. There's no way I'm winning this race if I pit. And if I don't pit, there's a chance. So why not? I'll fuck it. Why not? Won't pit. See what happens.
And it worked out. We always debate with you whether you're going to pit or you'll stay out this time, and it all worked out. So well done on the win, and that continues your streaks of 5 races and 5 podiums. So not bad. We'll see if it continues next week. But finally, we'll talk to your Hypers. Well done, mate. First podium of the year. How does it feel?
Yeah. After last week, I thought maybe one more lap would have got me probably P2. But yeah, qualifying really didn't go to plan. Jeff ignored the fact of me telling you it was going to rain, so obviously starting outside top 10 not really great, but safety cars sort of come in favour in the end, so can't moan too much.
Yeah, I mean, you were so close. Twice a season, 2 4th places, and it's it worked out in your favour, and especially the fact you started in P12 and to get onto the podium is a fantastic job. And looking at next week, we're heading to Monaco, one of the, well, some say the trickiest race on the calendar. For you, is it a circuit you enjoy, or is it one where you might lose? Hopefully, you don't lose your front wing or next week, but one you need to practice a little bit more at.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I'm gonna have to practice probably a fair bit just to get used to. One, keeping out of the wall, because I have a tendency to be a wall magnet around that track. And two, just getting used to the car with the presets and stuff like that. It's a little bit different. But no, we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully, we can keep sort of somewhat of a streak alive of decent points. So.
Well, fingers crossed for you, mate, next week. And well done on your first podium. Well done to Binary and Swain for their podium as well. I'll hand it back to Gareth to round off the stream.
Just quickly, Hyper. I mean, that's not bad for a track you don't like, is it?
I don't mind Japan. It's another one that's a love-hate relationship. So.
Fantastic. Anyway, I will start to end the show, and what a race we've had. Congratulations to the podium finishers, and we'll wait and see for certain how it all pans out, and we will have that on Wednesday's extra show. Don't forget, that's at 1900 hours, and then afterwards we've got Tazo's Medley Madness, or whatever it's called, I can't remember, and then we're back next week, myself and Ollie, for the Monaco Grand Prix. Now that's a tantalising aspect we've got to watch out for, I'm sure, but for now I will leave you with one final Murrayism.
This is something that many people didn't think could possibly happen today. They thought Damon would drive a cautious race, but he fought. He fought from second on the grid. He passed Jacques Villeneuve. He took the lead. He stayed there. And Damon Hill exits the chicane and wins the Japanese Grand Prix. And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat. Michael Schumacher passes Damon Hill, but too late. Damon Hill wins in Japan. I really am, for once, almost at a loss for words. I am so happy, as the majority of Britain will be. I must confess I have a very soft spot for Damon, and it has been magnified as a result of his achievements here.